Hi, I'm Sharielle Smith for Tom's Guide, and I'm going to show you how to set up your Oculus Rift. You need a few parts. Number one, you need the Rift, the headset itself, the sensor, the remote, your wireless Xbox One dongle, and of course, your Xbox One controller. So I've gotten things started off a little bit with the software. So as you can see, it says welcome to Rift, and we're going to go through the first few steps. So now's the fun part where we start connecting the headset and the sensor to the computer. So the computer that I'm using is the Main Gear Rush Superstock. We've previously reviewed this desktop, so if you're curious, definitely check it out on Tom's Guide. So what you have to do is take the HDMI and the USB 3 port. There we are. And here is the USB. And the software should be, once you're hooked in, is helpful enough to tell you, okay, that's hooked up. And we're in. Click next. And now it's time to configure your remote. So there is a tab on the back of the remote. You pull it out and then you press the center button of the remote and it's paired. Next step, quick run through of the remote, the navigation disc, select button, volume down. Very simple to grasp, and we'll just continue. Now, if you have an Xbox One and you have a wireless controller, this should be pretty simple. So I'm going to grab our wireless adapter. I'm going to plug it in over here and set that process up. And if you need a USB extender, Oculus is kind enough to ship it in with the Rift, but you shouldn't need it. So once your Xbox controller has its batteries, you sync up the controllers, which are already synced, and the software has picked it up, and you're ready to move on to the next step. Quick controller walkthrough, and now we set up the sensor. It gets a little personal. It wants to know your height, so like 5'6", that's about how tall I am. So now it's time to place our sensor. The software advises that wherever you place your sensor, it needs to be at least 3 feet away from where you're going to be using the Rift. So you want to make sure that the glossy side is facing you, because that's where the camera and all the sensors and the Constellation software actually lives. So please make sure that it's shiny when you're looking at it. So once that's done, click next. Confirm sensor tracking. So now it's looking for the Rift. Just move the Rift in front of the sensor, and as you can see, sensor tracking confirmed, and it's ready to use. Now it's time to get personal with your Rift. So what that basically means is that we're about to walk through the fit, the lenses, and all the things that you're going to need to make sure that your VR experience is as comfortable as possible. When you get a quick anatomy of the Rift, so as you can see, you've got your top tab, your side tab, on-ear headphones, and your tracking triangle. It's vitally important that the tracking triangle sits flush against the back of your head. It's the thing that keeps the headset in place and allows the sensor to keep track of where your head is at all times. So customize your fit. It's time to put on the Rift. So here you slide it onto your head. The headset actually uses Velcro pieces to secure it in place, so you can adjust the fit pretty easily. I can even get it on with my somewhat elaborate head style. It takes a little bit of maneuvering for me, but hopefully you won't need all of that work. So once you confirm your fit, you're ready to move on to the next step. You can adjust the headphones to slide up or fold down onto your ears, or you can remove the headphones if you don't like them. I'll do that in another step. So fit's complete now. Now it's time to prepare your space. Make sure that you have a lot of room to move around with, even though theoretically you're not going to be doing a lot of walking around with the Rift. You want to make sure you have a decent sized circle to work with, because you're going to be sitting in a swivel chair most likely, and you don't want to be swiveling around and inadvertently hit a piece of furniture, a loved one, a pet. You get the idea. And now we're going to adjust the actual lens slider. If you look on the bottom of the headset, you're going to see a little nub that you're going to push in and adjust while you have the Rift on, and that will adjust your lenses so everything is in focus. And now it's time to enter VR. So stand up, face the sensor, attach the remote to your wrist, put on the headset. For Tom Scott, I'm Sharielle Smith.